Hello and welcome to this course. We'll take a look at Zensol's CBA-32P measuring instrument. Produced by Zensol Automation in collaboration with Hydro-Quebec. At the end of this module, the participant will be able to use the CBA-32P circuit breaker performance analyzer. Lesson 2. CBA-32P description. How is the CBA-32P front panel organized? What is the role of contact inputs? What is the role of analog inputs? What is the role of optical-digital encoder inputs? What is the role of order entry? What is the role of the RES-24 internal module? How is the CBA-32P front panel organized? Let's take a closer look at the front panel of the 24-contact CBA-32P. From left to right, we have contact inputs, analog inputs, optical encoder inputs are the control output and the current of the opening and closing coils. Underneath, the LEDs flash when the circuit breaker is opened or closed. The measurement LED indicates that data acquisition is in progress. The orange LED indicates that the CBA-32P has been powered up. The two-strand fiber optic cable enables data exchange between the CBA-32P and the computer. The TX output transmits data, while the RX input receives data under the control of the CBA Win software. Bottom center, the grounding connector. And finally, at bottom left, the CBA-32P power socket. To understand their functionality, let's look at each input connector in detail. What is the role of contact inputs? Let's assume that the yellow, red, and black battery clamps are connected to a T-type circuit breaker. The other end is a Nutric connector to be inserted into the contact input indicated C1, C2 horizontally and 17, 18 vertically. Each input can simultaneously test two dry contacts with or without insertion resistor. The clamps are easy to spot, as yellow is contact 1, red is contact 2, and the black clamp is their common one. In addition, the numbers in circles 17 and 18 are software numbers that are important to remember. In fact, these numbers allow you to visualize the signals recorded using the red Graphic Report Design button. On the front panel of the 8-contact, you'll find a single horizontal row of 4 contact inputs numbered C1 to C8, or software numbers 17 to 24. For 16 contacts, an additional row numbered C9 to C32 or software numbered 25 to 32. Finally, for the 24 contacts, another additional row C17 to C24 or software number 33 to 40. These contact inputs are multifunctional and are also used to test dry contacts 52A and 52B. Small cables with small alligator clips are required. If the contacts to be measured represent a voltage up to 300 phi, simply use special wet contact cables. What is the role of analog inputs? 1 or 2 analog input columns are available for a total of 3 or 6 analog inputs. These analog inputs give the CBA-32P all its power and flexibility. Multi-purpose analog input software numbers range from 3 to 8. Combined with CBA Win's flexible time interval between sample readings and total recording time, they allow you to record any brief physical event of the order of tens of milliseconds for circuit breakers, or a few seconds, such as for disconnectors, or a few minutes for recording unusual events during an opening or closing operation. In fact, since these inputs accept all kinds of standard industrial sensors with an analog output from 0 to 10 VDC, they are very flexible. It should be remembered, however, that most of these inputs are used primarily for displacement tests. Some electricians also use them for voltage, current, and pressure tests, as well as for dynamic contact resistance tests. What is the role of optical encoder digital inputs? 1 or 2 columns of digital optical encoder inputs are available for a total of 3 or 6 optical encoders. They are used for rotary and linear displacement tests using a linear to rotary motion converter such as the ZLR kit. Note that optical encoder software numbers are 89 to 94. Since around 2010, electricians have been using them more and more. Optical digital encoders give a digital value encoded on 16 bits. In comparison, resistive-type displacement transducers allow analog recordings coded on 12 bits. Optical encoders don't require pre-positioning like analog sensors, so they're easier to use. What is the role of input-output control? It is used to connect the control cable. Please refer to line current module number 2 for a detailed explanation of how to connect the control cable to the circuit breaker coils. Connect the black and white cables to the 129V positive, the red cable to the closing circuit, and the green cable to the opening circuit. What is the role of the internal res module? Many CBA-32P models feature the optional internal resistor module. This module has the particularity of measuring the ohmic value of the resistance of pre-insertion contacts in a very noisy environment. In modules 1 and 2, we explained the operation of pre-insertion contacts, which appear briefly during opening and closing operations. To find out if your device is the only one with this module, simply look at the small aluminum serial number plate on the rear panel. To perform an auxiliary resistance measurement test, leave the cables on the contacts, open the RES24 test plan in CBA-Win, perform a close and open test. This slide shows a digital contact signal coded on 3 states, 0, 1, or 1.5. The same signal at the top is given by the RES module but coded on 12 bits. This ultra-precise coding allows us to deduce ohmic values. You can see the brief appearance of the pre-insertion contact as a tray indicated with red dots. A sophisticated mathematical calculation filters out the noise due to electrical induction and then calculates the ohmic resistance of the pre-insertion contact. On the graph, this ohm value is shown on the right. Question Lesson 2. What is the software number of the CBA-32P's analog inputs? 3 to 8, 3 to 12, 4. The answer is 3 to 8. Thank you for watching this video.